It's all hands to the pump in Donegal. Karen Guthrie back for this game today, wearing 29, so she's not starting, but the fact that she is here today is telling, because Donegal have lost all of their games in the league. They are staring relegation right in the face. And here in Letterkenny, Maxie Curran, the manager there in the shot, has decided, or he's maybe pleaded for Karen to come back into the fold. Evelyn McGinley there as well. She's going to be wearing 18 today. She's back in, but she hasn't been out as long as Karen. Karen took the winter out, I think, and so did a few of the other players, and that's one of the reasons why Donegal have had such a difficult league campaign. They have really struggled, but they do not want to be relegated. So Katie Heron came back last week, and Karen Guthrie back today. Can Donegal save their position in Division 1 of the Lidl National League? They are at home here at St Eunan's and Letterkenny against Mayo, and Mayo are the favourites, it has to be said. They have run a lot of teams close, and really with a bit of luck they could have been well up the league, but they are not safe. Today is a shootout. Mayo have won one game, and who did they beat? Only the champions, Meath, the National League champions, the All-Ireland champions. That's the team that they beat, and yet still they are having to get a result today to stay in Division 1. And there are Mayo warming up, and as you can see, they have been going through quite a warm-up the last 10-15 minutes. That's like a game situation. Very interesting, the warm-ups at both ends. One are doing drills. They are basically playing a match here, backs and forwards you might say, and they have been doing a rigorous warm-up. This is a very serious championship feel today to this game, and really it's a relegation shootout, so both teams really up for this game. There's been some dead rubbers in the National League. This is certainly not one of them. This is the game of the day. Loser goes down, simple as that, and it is Donegal against Mayo in Letterkenny. And you have, that's the build up, and now we will actually go straight to the teams. Sorry for that little pause there, I was just gathering my thoughts, but we will now go to the teams for you. So there is the Donegal team. Now there's a few changes I need to tell you about. So let's see, number 6, Abigail Temple Asoko is not starting. She is replaced by Amy Boyle-Carr, number 17. So ABC is in for ATA, if you like. Another change is at midfield, because Shannon McGrody is not starting. She is replaced by Niamh McLaughlin, wearing number 20. Niamh McLaughlin, of course, Player of the Year in Ladies Gaelic Football for 2022, so she is in as well. And clearly Donegal are going with the strongest possible team that they can today. And look elsewhere there, you have Ciara McGarvey, who's had an excellent campaign in the colleges. A lot of youth, of course, as well. Katie Dowds, Katie Long, and they've done their best throughout this league, but they're bringing back a few players to try and help them get over the line today. Roisin Rogers, who always has a good colleges year, and then Suzanne White at number 13. She's their main scorer. She's the top scorer for them, and indeed in the National League she's in the top 10 scorers. In fact, she's 6th because she scored 120. So the girl from Killybegs has been their go-to, so they need her on form today. So that is their team. The problem has been not with her but with the rest of the players. The rest of the team has only contributed not 16 in 6 games outside Suzanne White. Mayo, in contrast, well, there's one change. They've had a good campaign, even though they're down in the relegation area. They've actually had some very encouraging performances. Should have beaten Dublin, could have beaten Dublin, and could have even beaten Galway last week and a few others. The one change for them is that Tara Needham, number 15, is not starting, and her jersey, the number 15, actually goes to Roisin Durkin. Tara is injured, so she's not going to figure it all, and that's a bit of a blow to Mayo, because she got the goal last week one of the goals last week. Rachel Cairns got the other one. Michael Moyles would have loved to have had her in, but he does have a very strong team. Look at that team. I mean, Fiona McHale at number 12 will obviously play a sort of sweeper role. They have been playing really well, so their results have not really been a sign of how well that they have played. They've been a bit unlucky. Their go-to player is Shauna Howley for scores. She's 7th in the top scorers. She's got 22 points, 17 frees, but it's a team effort, and they are pretty well organised and have had some great performances, as I say. Rachel Cairns, of course, is Rachel Cairns, and Sinead Walsh, watch out for her. She scored 2-6, including 2 goals against Dublin, and they benefited a lot from the direct ball into the full forward line. Certainly in that game against Dublin, they got 2 goals from balls just played high into there, and also I think against Galway last week as well. So watch out for that tactic today and see how it works. But Emer Gallagher is in there for Donegal. Captains are out there, and it's interesting. Emer has been captain in the league, Emer Gallagher number 3, but that is Niamh McLaughlin out there, so she has resumed the captain's armband today. And the captain for Mayo is Catherine Sullivan, their number 7. So the referee, Shane Curley, laying down the law. Excuse me. And I have to repeat that I think Mayo are the strong favourites today to come through this. But then again, it's a one-off game, and it's home advantage for Donegal, and they know exactly what it means. Tactically, it'll be very interesting. I imagine that Donegal will persist with their very defensive setup that served them well last year in beating Dublin twice famously, but it hasn't served them so well in the league this year. Different players, of course, not all different players, but a lot of their key players haven't been there, so they haven't been able to execute the same plan. So it'll be interesting to see. I presume that they will persist with those tactics, but teams seem to have found a way around them, and it'll be up to Mayo to do that today. There is a pretty strong wind actually going sort of from right to left into the left corner. I wonder will that have an effect today. Not really strong, but still you can see the flags fluttering on the left hand side. Now I see over in the middle here that Karen Guthrie has gone over and taken off her top. You can see the 29 on her jersey now. She's gone over to talk to a few mentors, and there she is getting the ball. She looks ready for business, and of course she's been such a terrific servant and stalwart down the years for Donegal. She's got a smile on her face as usual. She's a bubbly character and brings a lot to this team, and I'm sure they're delighted to have her back. It just remains to be seen what sort of impact she has today and what role she has and what stage that Donegal throw her in. The first 15 minutes will be very, very important today. Who gets a good start? Donegal will be wanting to keep it really, really tight and stay in this game, because a few of the games have just run away from them. Against Cork 3 or 4 weeks ago, was it 3 weeks ago, they had an awful drubbing down there. They lost 5-11 to 1 point. Now there is of course a bigger picture, as Karen has a shot at goal there, and the bigger picture is players coming back for Donegal, and they've their eye on the championship, and they're building and they are giving experience to young players, but still they do not want to go down, because Donegal have been in Division 1 since 2016. They were promoted that year, and then they started out in 2017. They actually got all the way to the final that year under Micheál Nodden, and they lost the final last year to Meath, but they do not want to go down. We pause now as the anthem is about to be sung actually down in front of us here. There's a lady down at the front who's going to sing it for us. Beautifully sung as well. I'm just deleting on Facebook some of these scammers trying to get you to pay to watch the game on their sites or whatever. Please ignore them. It is available only on the Ladies Gaelic Football in-player system as usual. So getting rid of them for you on the Facebook page. So it's do or die for Donegal. And those are the players with the responsibility today to try and keep their team in Division 1. That's where you want to be, and they've had a tough campaign. You see 17 there, Amy Boyle-Carr, she's in. And I talked about Donegal's record in Division 1. Well, as for Mayo, well, they won promotion in 2012 to Division 1, and they've been there ever since. I remember the captain, Claire Egan, that day in Parnell Park after they won in Division 2 in the final. 2016 they lost the final, 2018 they lost the final, so they've been in Division 1 longer than their opponents today. And at midfield there you see Katie Heron has gone straight to midfield wearing 14, and she is alongside Niamh McLaughlin. So it looks more like the Donegal that we've been accustomed to over the years, apart from Geraldine McLaughlin and one or two others. But they have brought some of the big guns back because this is a big occasion. Shane Curley now, the referee, about to throw the ball in for the game of the day. The relegation shootout, the big decider. Loser goes down, winner stays up in Division 1. It's a tough job getting back into Division 1, so nobody wants to go down. You have to be in the top flight. Donegal last year came so close against Meath on Championship Day and League Day, but now they're staring relegation. But Mayo are also hoping to stay up, and they have number 6 there, you see, and that is Kieran Needham at midfield there, getting that ball from the throw-in. Now they come back out to Aoife Garrity from Westport. This is their captain today. This is Sullivan. Good bright start by the visitors here today. Fiona McHale, number 12. I thought she might play a little bit deeper back, but she is quite forward actually, just so I'm watching her now going drifting back a little bit. She'll be back in that sort of roll around the middle of the field, I would imagine, picking up ball like this. And she just slips it into number 25, who is in there, I see as well. And Fiona now plays a lovely ball through. That's twice she's been involved. And they try to get a shot in, but number 2, Kiva Keown, did well there to just block the way and get in the way. So 25 is in there for Mayo. That is Maria Riley. That's one change I didn't know about. And here come Mayo now, looking for the first score of the game, and she's through here, and she might even get a goal, might get a shot off, and she was looking to get a pass away, and the referee gives advantage. She puts the ball wide. I think the referee seems to have given the free in, and he has indeed given a free in. Seemed to open up there at one stage. See, 20 is in there as well, and that is Deirdre Doherty. So we got a lot of the changes, but we didn't get the Mayo changes. They obviously kept that under wraps, but I see 25 and 20 out there. So Deirdre Doherty, 20, 25 Maria Riley are 2 for Mayo that I have spotted, and it is the 20 Deirdre Doherty who will take this. And look, they're looking to try and get a goal out of this, because there was only 2 Donegal players on the line. Is she going to finish it? She does, and that is a disaster for Donegal. Why on earth did they only have 2 players on the line? And Rachel Kern spotted it and said, well, let's take advantage of that. You see her now watching it. You watch it again, and she's going, let's have a go at this. There's only 2 there. Now, she nearly missed it, but she got the rebound, and that is a great start for Mayo. Disaster for Donegal. 1 goal to no score. That's exactly what Donegal did not want. Really good kick out there, or kick out from the kick out, if you like, from Aoife McColgan to try and get Donegal going. Nice run down the left hand side here by the number 12 Katie Dowds. That's brilliant work by her, and she's still going, and she is fouled eventually. And there was a little bit of silly stuff off the ball there that I think the referee would have spotted too, and it was Aoife Garrity trying to stop her player going forward. I'm sure the referee has spotted that as well. What a dramatic start to this game. We were expecting fireworks, but we did not expect a goal right at the start for Mayo. They were pressing, but the circumstances would certainly question Donegal's defence, I have to say. They've been very tight. They had a bit of a defensive setup. There's a nice point for them, and it's put over the bar by Ciara McGarvey from Termon. I did mention her form in the colleges. She's brought that right in to this game today. That's a much needed point for them, and that'll give them a nice lift. And there is Fiona McHale in that deep lying position that I expected her to play, just linking the play. The only player from the Carnacun famous club, of course, from Mayo in the starting lineup today. Now it is Garrity. 1 goal plays 1 point. You can feel the tension here in Letterkenny, you really can. This is Sullivan coming forward. And Mayo have been quite impressive so far. Comes off the back of Niamh Carr. They've gone forward with quite a lot of enterprise and imagination, and Rachel Cairns underlined that. A little bit of opportunism from Rachel to get her goal, and she's now on 3 goals for the league campaign, up to 3-5. Fiona McHale pressing forward and turning over that ball. That's brilliant work by the veteran, and gets it into Lisa Cafferty from Kilmavie Shamrocks, and that point has gone over, but it was really all about Fiona McHale, to be fair. That was her turnover. 1-1 to a point. Sun is out here in Donegal, and I think it's more in the eyes of the Mayo goalkeeper. Just a hold up here for a knock to one of the Mayo players. So just to give you those changes again, I don't know who's not starting. I haven't worked that out, but Mayo have definitely started with 20 Deirdre Doherty and 25 Maria Riley. Try and work out as we go on who's not out there. 11 is there, that's Shauna Howley, and Fiona McHale 12 is definitely there, and Fiona's playing quite advanced. There she is at this moment anyway. 13 is there, that's Lisa Cafferty. Roisin Durkin was named at 15 in place of Tara Needham, but I think she's not out there. Don't see her. And maybe is Sinead Walsh out there wearing 10? I think she is. Just having a look around, can't see all of the players, just or all of the numbers just at the moment. I think that's her. No, maybe actually Sinead Walsh hasn't started. Maybe that's it. And Sinead Cafferty, number 9. Having a look for her. So those are the changes. The score 1-1 to a point after 5 minutes. And that looks a nasty one for Rachel Cairns, and it looks like she's coming off, certainly for a while at least. Must be an ankle, and she looks to be in quite a bit of pain. So it looks like that's the Donegal management we're watching, but it's a change, and in fact, yeah, they're making a change. Mayo, and it's Sinead Walsh now coming into the play wearing 10, and that's a blow for Donegal. Rachel Cairns, number 14, she got the goal, and just a few minutes later she's having to go off. Very disappointing for her, but that looks a sore one. But what a replacement in Sinead Walsh from McHale Rovers. She scored 2-6, including 2 goals against Dublin, so a really good target player to put in there in place. But that is so disappointing for Rachel. Such a fabulous player, has come back from Australia, so important to the team, underlined by that goal, but she is having to exit the field, unfortunately. She gets a generous round of applause from the crowd. It's all happening here in Letterkenny. A goal, and the girl who got it being taken off, or having to go off rather. This is Emer Gallagher going back to her goalkeeper McColgan. She rifles that out to the right hand side, but it's been intercepted, and it's another turnover, and it's Maria Riley for Mayo, and they might profit again. They just can't get going at all. And has it gone over? Yes, the signal is that is a point again, and Mayo, not distracted at all by losing, Rachel Cairns have hit back with the next score to make it 1-2 to a point, and already they have a useful 4-point lead, and McColgan wisely goes short this time, although that was tight as well. Walsh nearly intercepted. Donegal just trying to get moving. This is number 5, Roisin Rogers. They go back to the goalkeeper again, but Mayo working very, very hard. They keep going to Emer Gallagher, but she's under pressure there, and in fact is fouled. And the referee explaining what that was given for, and he's actually ticking that. So that's a tick against Maria Riley. And Emer just taking a minute, because that was a pretty hefty challenge, as you see. And I've mentioned Fiona McHale's role a few times. She's actually playing now in the right corner of the attack on Roisin Rogers. So she's playing just about everywhere, but certainly in a very advanced position for most of the time, and she's been very influential early on. Gallagher takes it back to McColgan. 8 minutes gone. McColgan coming forward. Well, she knows where the posts are. In fact, she scored a point in the campaign. Now backpedaling as she's given it to one of the outfield players. But Mayo dropping very deep. Almost every player inside the 45, with 12 players inside their own 45. That's a nice low ball in. And here's Amy Boyle-Carr trying to find a way through, and is she looking for the ball over the top or for her own score? Neither. Comes back out and gives it to Katie Heron. Katie fancies it, but that's going to drop short, and the goalkeeper Laura Brennan was grateful for that. So that's a little bit of a waste for Donegal, and Mayo will try and counter at speed, try and break through the defensive structure, but Heron comes in and gets a good block in. Mayo still have it though, and they get their free as well. Sullivan races over to take it. There's an urgency to the Mayo play, as you would expect, but they just looked that little bit more together, shall we say. Here comes Sullivan down the right hand side and plays a nice ball in for the forward. It makes it really difficult for the defender to get to, and it's Deirdre Doherty in the corner, but she plays a poor ball across the middle, though she did get knocked unbalanced as she kicked. This is Katie Long from Glenfin, same club as Guthrie. Good work down this left hand side, but it's a bit of a cul-de-sac, so she comes back out. She's trying to hold on to the ball. This is Shelley Tuig. Needs help, gets it from Keown, and they come all the way back to Nicole McLaughlin. To Tara Hegarty, all the way back to the goalkeeper. Brilliant pressing by Mayo all over the field. Good disciplined play as well. They just seem to have things together, as I was saying a little bit. They just look like a team who have played really well in this league and just been a bit unlucky, but they have beaten Meath, of course, and could have beaten Dublin, could have beaten Galway, and they just look like a team a little bit more knitted together, and they know what they're about, whereas Donegal are just having to regroup and go backwards all the time. Gallagher trying to get them going. Amy Boyle-Carr on the right hand side, taking a run on her own, this way and that way, trying to find a way through, but inevitably has to come back. We're over the 10-minute mark. It seems like a lot has happened in 10 minutes. Rachel Cairns got a goal. Rachel Cairns had to go off with injury. Mayo lead by 4. Tara Hegarty from the Moville club comes forward, but Mayo just sitting in there and just waiting for Donegal to come, and then they force them to go back, and Mayo have the number of Donegal just at the minute. Can Donegal find a way through? Here's a different route, but it's gone straight to a Mayo player. Now she's making a bit of a meal of it, but gets there in the end. That was Tamara O'Connor. And Mayo look quite sharp when they get going forward, whereas Donegal just seem to have no ideas, or they just can't find a way through. Now that's a good ball into space as well, looking for Lisa Cafferty. She picks it up, and Donegal have drifted back. It's going to be a tough job for Donegal getting back, and especially when you don't get a shot off or a point when you go forward, it's tougher to go back. This is Cafferty again. They're forced to go right, but there's an interception here for Donegal. Now what can they do in the break? Can they transition quickly here? Keown gives it to Tuig, but no, they can't move quickly, and this seems to be the problem. Mayo getting back, and they just can't find a way through. Maybe this time. That's good work by Katie Long. And now they might get in behind, because number 20 is there, and that's Niamh McLaughlin, of course, and she leaves it off to Heron. And Heron trying to get her way through, and is forced to go back, but little tug, and the referee has penalised Ailish Renan for that challenge, and Donegal will be thankful for that. Now Katie scored 3 points last week from frees, but she is leaving this one, I think, to Suzanne White. So Suzanne, 6th top scorer in the whole of the National League to date, 120. She scored in 5 of the 6 games, and she is going to take this one. Mayo lining up a substitute, by the way, so there must be another injury, a second change for Mayo. And it is number 27 coming on. That is Sarah Mulvihill, and we're going to have this change, I think, before the free is taken. And it's very unusual to get 2 injuries early on, and they both look to be similar. It's another ankle injury, it seems, or maybe a knee, but it's 2 players having to be replaced. In fact, there's another player coming off, and it's Maria Riley. So maybe they're going to make 2 changes here. It's all happening on the sideline. Yeah, 25 for Mayo, Maria Riley. Now she did get a tick, but I'm surprised she's been taken off. So she's coming off, and another player is hobbling off. This is all happening off camera. I'll keep you up to date with it, but surely Mayo now have to bring on another player. Donegal are saying just play on, get on with the game. This is a long wait for Suzanne White. Mayo, I see down below, they're rushing with a little bit of paper. We're trying to get this change made, so 2 changes as Suzanne White, and she drops that short, And maybe it was the long wait that affected her there, but she didn't get enough power on it, and from that distance you would have expected her, with her record in the league, to get that over the bar. But Donegal do try to get it back, and they've done well to turn it over, and they might profit now. Heron makes a run off the ball and takes players away, and there's a chance here maybe for a goal, and how they would love a goal, but just drops it at the last moment, and the goalkeeper Brennan does brilliantly to close the gap. That was an opportunity for Donegal. It has to go down as that now. White gets her kick away, and it's blocked, and surely that's gone out for a 45. No, didn't touch anyone. Here's the substitute now for Mayo. So let's watch this again first before bringing the substitute off. She just have caught that there. There might have been a chance of a goal. 17 is now on for Mayo, and that is Roisin Flynn, trying to keep track of all the changes on the sideline as much as the game itself. It really is all happening here in Letterkenny. So Mayo have made 3 substitutions in the first quarter of this game. That was very unusual. 2 of them enforced. Now here's number 20, Deirdre Doherty. She's been in from the start, getting support from Shauna Howley. Uses that, and Shauna slips it back to her. Are they going for goal again? They go low indeed, but the goalkeeper watches that, McColgan. And Mayo, strangely enough, electing to go for a goal there from that distance, or maybe she just didn't connect properly. McColgan with the kick, and a couple of times in this game McColgan has been intercepted from those kind of kicks. This one reaches the target. It's an intriguing game. Definitely not a dead rubber. There's a real edge to it, but there's also been a lot of unexpected drama. This is Nicole McLaughlin coming forward for Donegal. They've only scored the 1 point so far, and this has been their main problem in the league, just not scoring enough. But it's the Mayo setup here, their strategy, where they're all sitting in and making it so hard for Donegal to find a way through. Here's Rogers, though, trying to find a chink of light there, but she can't, so they come back to Niamh McLaughlin. Niamh goes to direct ball, and that's a nice low ball looking for Katie Heron, and Katie just couldn't get it into her grasp there, and this is a problem now for Donegal. When it breaks down, Mayo are very good in the transition. Great forwards, a good support. This is Howley. She's taking a few players with her, and that is Cafferkey, who runs into traffic but still has the ball. Goes onto her right side, just adjusts there nicely and puts it over, and Donegal turned over and punished. 1-3 to a point, and Mayo, despite all those changes that they have had to make, they are going well in this game. They just seem to have the game in control, under control. McColgan with the long kick out, and she puts it over Catherine Sullivan's head. That's a brilliant kick out, and does superbly to find number 17, Amy Boyle-Carr. She's got 2 players ahead of her, but she's weaving her way, and the referee brings her back, and I'd say she'd have preferred to play on. Little knock there from Danielle Caldwell. It's the referee didn't appreciate and brings the ball forward. And neither decision, I think, is really helping Donegal too much, because they just haven't been able to get the scores on the board, and Susanna's missed from a little bit closer in. I think they might have preferred to have let the player go, but those are the rules. Suzanne again doesn't reach again, and that's 2 that she has missed, and they'll be thinking now about changing the free taker, I would imagine. She has a great record in the league, but they can't afford today of all days to be missing those. It's McHale back there under serious pressure, and now Donegal might profit, but Caldwell, or rather the cornerback, does brilliantly, and another tackle coming in, and it was Eilish Renan to the rescue there, and maybe McHale as well. They made a bit of a meal of that. Mayo, a lot of players having handling difficulties out there today, strangely enough. A lot of them wearing gloves. There's no rain, but the ball bobbling around quite a few times. Katie Heron had a problem a few minutes ago as well. Mayo haven't had problems in this area of the pitch, though. Aoife Geraghty storming forward. Howley, he looks off for a point off that left side, but that's going to drop into the arms of McColgan, and both teams have been guilty of that at both ends. Dropping the ball short, not finding their scores. Amy Boyle-Carr runs into traffic but gets her free. Emer Gallagher looking to take it quickly. They need to get this team on the move. 1 point in 18 minutes is the story of their league campaign. Gallagher trying her best to get them going. Keown involved, number 2, but playing well up the field. Gallagher with the head up, looking for support, gets it from Tuig. Keown again gives it back to Niamh McLaughlin. Spreads the play, but that's inaccurate. And Mayo look to pounce again and to punish on the break on the counter as they've done before. Sullivan gives it to Cafferty, and now it's Sinead Walsh in lots of room, takes on her marker, takes on Nicole McLaughlin and gets in behind as well, and there's a threat of a goal here. She loses possession, gets a kick away though, and another goal for Mayo. They have punished Donegal so many times on the break, and it's now 2-3 to a point. And the problem for Donegal, they can't get through and then they leave gaps at the back, and that has been exploited by Sinead Walsh, and that's her 3rd goal of that campaign. 2 against Dublin, 1 against Mayo, and that one could be priceless. We're now heading into the 20th, 21st minute of the game, and another player for Donegal for Mayo is down, and it's Sullivan, but she's bounced back up. She seems okay to continue. They've had 3 changes already, 2 enforced by injury, and of course they lost Tara Needham as well. But they have good strength and depth, and that's why they are ahead. Donegal will persist. I know there's a bigger picture. I know it's about championship, and they might come back in the championship and they get a few more players back, but when you consider they played Meath in the All-Ireland semi-final last year and came so close, and played them in the league final and came close, and there you see the ball bobbling again. Took a bad bounce for Roisin Rogers. This has been a really poor campaign for Donegal, no matter what way you look at it. Real low point against Cork, but they just haven't really come close in many of the games in the way that Mayo would have done. Again, handling difficulties, or maybe not handling, but the bounce of the pitch. Maybe it's a little bit bobbly. This is Rogers. Nicole McLaughlin looks for the direct ball to Katie Heron, but it's not accurate, and it's gobbled up in there for Mayo. I think it was the number 9 back there, Sinead Cafferty. And now Mayo, they put fear into Donegal by the way they transition. Fiona McHale in an advanced position, I can see running, looking for the ball. That's good movement by her, and good transfer as well into Shauna Howley. Not many options up ahead of that, so they come back out to McHale again, and Sullivan calls for it. Doesn't get it though. They go a little bit more imaginative going forward, but that is Cafferty forced to go back to Caldwell. Gives and goes, and that's what they've been doing a lot, and she does get it back. Not Caldwell, but she runs into traffic and is penalised. Couldn't have seen the player there, but that's the rule. You watch it again here. It's Caldwell wearing number 3, but in advanced position, doesn't see the player on the blind side, but is penalised for that challenge. 22 minutes gone, 2-3 to a point. Donegal in real difficulties here. McColgan gives it to Tara Hegarty. I wonder how long before Karen Guthrie makes an appearance. Donegal can't afford to slip any further back. They've missed a couple of pretty kickable frees, and the balls into Katie Heron have not worked either, so they maybe need another plan. It's a good turn by McLaughlin to another McLaughlin. Niamh and Nicole combining. But look at that setup, and again, that's the ball given away again for the second time in a few minutes, and Mayo so dangerous when they get it, so lively. 17 is Flynn. With a lot of numbers beyond 15, a few changes before the game and 3 changes in the game. Katie Heron all the way back there. She's come out of that full forward area, so maybe Donegal have decided to try another plan, and they've left, is it McGinley in there in full forward? I'm just trying to check off camera. Heron has definitely come out around the middle now, and I do see a Donegal player warming up below us. The last 7 minutes of the first half could be crucial in this game. Donegal can't afford to go any further back, but Meath just keep hitting them with sucker punches, just sitting in there, absorbing the pressure, and then hitting them on the break. And there's another ball given away, and Donegal have done that so many times. And look at the space now, look at the room for Sinead Walsh. Cafferty is busting a gut to get up there and pointing where she wants it. She's run 100 metres there in 10 seconds. She's got in behind. Can she get in for the goal? Oh, and she does brilliantly to score. And Donegal have been hit with a sucker punch for the third time in this game. And that could be the goal that sends them down to Division 2. What a counter-attack from Mayo. It was Walsh doing brilliantly to find Cafferty. She did brilliantly, kept her composure. It looked like she'd missed the opportunity. She hadn't. 3-3 plays a point. And already this could be beyond Donegal. And down below us, we see Karen Guthrie now walking along, and she looks pretty dejected coming across here. She's not looking like she's going to get changed. She's heading towards the gate. Maybe she is. She's handing her bib, or maybe it's just a sign of the way things are at the minute for Donegal. Maybe it's already beyond them. Evelyn McGinley. Is it Evelyn? I'm wearing number 30 for them. We were told Evelyn was wearing 30 then. We were told she was wearing 18, but I see a number 30 down there, and that does look like Evelyn. As the play continues with another ball kicked into the goalkeeper's arms, and Mayo have been wasteful that way, but they have 3 crucial goals from this first half. And of course it was Ciara McGarvey I think I was referring to up the field a minute ago, not Evelyn, just to clarify that. 25 minutes gone, 3-3 to a point. And this game is panning out the way we thought. Mayo favourites for the game. Expected a bit of a kick from Donegal, but those goals. Caldwell. Accurate pass across the field, and Donegal have been so inaccurate with a lot of their balls and passes from hand and from foot, and it has really killed them in this game. Long way back already. 11 points. Good turn by Sinead Cafferty. Calls for the free and gets it. I did say the last 7 minutes would be crucial, and a lot has happened in those 7 minutes. We've still got 4 of them left, but that goal could just have been the one that sends Donegal down, because it's a big ask to come back from this, especially when they've only scored the 1 point. Shauna Howley now, 22 points before today, 17 frees, and she's measured that beautifully for another one. 7th top scorer in the whole of the league, Mayo's top scorer on target. Colgan doesn't know where to go. There's a big press on from Mayo, so she goes long again, but it's a big ask, and Sullivan was wary this time, measured it well. She knew the range and got there before Niamh McLaughlin. When you consider that Mayo have lost 2 players through injury, they have played really well in this first half, and they lost Tara Needham before the game as well, and to lose Rachel Cairns, what a blow. But they've overcome that. This is McHale, gives it to Garrity, and Donegal just bossing this game at the minute. Oh, and they get in behind again, and it's Garrity again. Aoife Garrity from Westport drives it from a bad angle, and Aoife McColgan, there's no better one-on-one shot stopper in the game, and she saves that and keeps Donegal maybe just about in it, but great work by Garrity, I think it is again, to win that ball back. And there's a little collision there of a knee to a face, which was entirely accidental. Actually, it wasn't Garrity, it was Cafferty who got back and won that ball, the other midfielder for Mayo. There's the goal chance. A 4th goal would have really put it beyond Donegal. As it is, it will take something extremely dramatic. Mayo management looking at another player to bring in. I think it's Tierney, and Michael Moyles, of course, is the manager for Mayo. Disappointed to lose last week, but he knew his team has played well in the league. Didn't deserve to be down here, and indeed it is Sarah Tierney, number 23, looking to come in. So that would be a 4th change in the first half. If you saw that and just come into it, you'd think, well, they must be in trouble. Well, they're not. They are leading by 12. And indeed, Tierney is coming in. Now, who's she coming in for is the question. It's number 3, actually, Danielle Caldwell. Substitution for Mayo, 23, Sarah Tierney for number 2, Danielle Caldwell. 29 minutes gone. Donegal 1 point, Mayo 3-4 in the 2023 Lidl National Football League Division 1 relegation decider. So much has happened in this half. So Donegal only have, or Mayo rather, only have 11 of the 15 that they started with, and yet they are well ahead. Now, what are we waiting for? A little bit of a hold up. The referee's checking. No, it's actually the goalkeeper of Donegal, Aoife McColgan, who's getting a little bit of treatment over to our right. She's been told to put her arms above her head to make sure she's got the full range, and she seems okay. She and Curly, the referee, just checking, double checking. 29, nearly in the 30-minute, nearly into injury time, but there'll be quite a lot of injury time, I'd imagine. We've had quite a few stoppages. Cafferty from Kilmavie Shamrocks gets us going again after giving it to her sister Lisa. And here she comes again. Support now from the player who's just come on, Tierney. Tierney directing the play. Tierney brings great experience to this team. There's already great experience here in the name of Fiona McHale and a few others. Sullivan now, and they're just playing keep ball in added time at the end of the first half. Sullivan kicks it down into the corner. It's a good ball. Looking for number 20, and that's Doherty, who has been in from the start, and this is Aoife Garrity. All the way back to Sullivan. They're just owning the ball at the minute, and Donegal can't get near it. This is Tierney, and she runs into traffic, runs into Katie Long, and Katie gets a free for that, and she'll need a little bit of treatment for that, and Tierney's name is ticked. Katie Heron comes over to take it. She has vacated the full forward position, so that didn't really work, having her in there as a target player. Or a few balls just went over her head, or one just bobbled out of her hands. You just get days like that. And she plays it, and she's getting it away, and yet again that's been the story of the first half. And as she threw here for an unusual goal, Deirdre Doherty, soccer style. Oh, what a disaster of a first half for Donegal. And that sums it all up. Mayo are going to stay in Division 1. I think it can say that, even though the first half isn't over. Oh my goodness, that really is the story of their league campaign. 4-4 to a point. It is all falling apart for Donegal. And yet another change. I have never seen this before, and I've seen a lot of games. Now it's Catherine Sullivan going off, and Mayo have made their 5th change. Number 19, Ella Brennan, is on, and I'm a little bit puzzled because I don't see any injury wrong with Catherine. And the same, I didn't see one or two Maria Riley early on as well. And Catherine just talking to her manager, not saying she's complaining, but just having a little chat with him. I'm not sure what that was about at all. But 5 changes before half time, very strange. Sinead Walsh now, one of the players who came in, drops it short, and McColgan has no problem with that one. 32 and a half minutes gone. Donegal really have been architects of their own downfall so many times. 4-4 to a point. 16 plays won, 15 points behind. Unbelievable. Donegal so close last year to glory in the National League and indeed in the Championship, and yet now they are heading to Division 2. for Donegal. That's good work by Ciara Garvey. She hasn't had many opportunities, but she's shown good fight there and good tenacity, and you can hear the crowd lifted a little bit by that. Niamh McLaughlin comes over to take it, but most times when they've had a free Donegal, they've looked up and there just isn't a lot of movement or options. Mayo have a structure in there that has been hard to break down. Despite the changes, they've still kept to that structure. They all know the plan and they've all stuck to it. Donegal try again in the 35th minute of the first half, but again struggling to hold possession. She does in the end do well to hold it, but look at the green jerseys around her. Forced back out, Katie Long. Forced all the way out, and they must be nervous now with every pass because Mayo have been so good at jumping in there and stealing it. And come all the way out, Donegal. And they're just forced to go sideways and over to the wings, and it just hasn't worked. And yet again the hand in for Mayo from Roisin Flynn on that occasion, and now that transition that must make Donegal people very nervous every time because they've been so effective on that break. And it's Deirdre Doherty in there, and she gets it. Even though they might only have 2 or 3 players in there, their movement has been really good. They just pass the parcel here, giving it to Howley. Sinead Walsh now. We're in the 36th minute of the first half. It's Garrity from distance. Maybe thought about it, thought better of it. Gives it back to number 19, Ella Brennan. Number 2, Eilish Ronayne up there. Switches the point of attack to Tamara O'Connor. It's Doherty with good movement again. Slips it off to Cafferty. Always wants you to get on that right foot. This is Cafferty, the other Cafferty, and she's surely not going to get another goal, is she? She isn't, but it is a free in. Little tug on the shoulder spotted by Shane Curley, and it's going to be a free in for Mayo. And we are now heading into the 37th minute of the first half, and this has been such a strange first half. Rarely have I seen a game like this. The winning team so far ahead. Donegal have scored only 1 point. Mayo have made 5 changes. But the nature of the goals will be really disappointing for Donegal. They will hope to recover for championship, but it seems a long way back at this point, as another point goes down for Mayo from Doherty. It's 4-5-2-1. That is 17 against 1. The referee looks like he's about to blow for half time, and he does. A painful first half for the home team here in Letterkenny. 36 minutes 41 seconds, and it was pretty much all Mayo's. And a very quiet reception for the players coming off at the end of that half tells the story. The home crowd a little bit befuddled really by what has happened there, and Mayo delighted with their performance. They are so far ahead, it looks like they can already say that they are in Division 1 next year, but Donegal in all sorts of bother. Don't know, can't think of any way that they're going to get back into this, but I suppose they do have 30 minutes, so you'd never know, but it's looking bleak for Donegal at 4-5 to 1 point. We'll be back shortly with the second half.
We were told the game was over before we'd even started. We were told our bodies weren't made for it. It wasn't our time to play. We played anyway. And together we played like there was no tomorrow. And they told us that was fine. You can play. You're good enough. And thought that was good enough for us. It wasn't. We are relentless. The game isn't over until we say it's over. Until we get everything we've given everything for. Until we level the playing field.
Lidl, proud supporters of ladies Gaelic football. can happen in just 1 second. Winning goal, winning save, perfect tackle, clever flick, good call from the ref, great shout from the line. The county title, after 30 years, a long way over, in just 1 second. It's a game of seconds. Glorious seconds. Genius in split seconds. By great players. Just 1 second. The difference between a good decision and a bad one. A lost temper, frustrated shout, that gut reaction. We've all done it. And we're never proud. But we can do better. We all can. Sideline, dressing room, meeting room, all places of passion where split-second decisions are made. Good ones, bad ones, some days not so calm ones. It's instinct, we know, because we love it. We just don't think. But we have to. Of others, of our players, of our game. Think before we act.
Take a second, catch your breath. Collect yourself, don't regret. Take a second to make the right call for ladies Gaelic football.
We were told the game was over before we'd even started. We were told our bodies weren't made for it. It wasn't our time to play. We played anyway. And together we played like there was no tomorrow. And they told us that was fine. You can play. You're good enough. And thought that was good enough for us. It wasn't. We are relentless. The game isn't over until we say it's over. Until we get everything we've given everything for. Until we level the playing field.
Welcome back for the second half of this Lidl National League Division 1 game. Donegal against Mayo. And there's one more change at half-time. Mayo made 5 changes in the first half. One more at the start of the second. 24, I believe, is on, which is Saoirse Delaney from Ahamore. And I see 21 looks to be maybe coming on for Donegal, maybe not. And that, of course, would be Saskia Boyle from Dunlow. Not just yet, actually. So, as you were, I think. Just checking around the rest of the field. I'll pick that up as we go on, but for the moment it's 4-5 for Mayo. One solitary point for Donegal, but Niamh McLaughlin gets it from the throw and immediately spins and looks around for somewhere to go that wants to try and get Donegal on the move and at least restore some pride in this second half. But the ball is won well in there by the cornerback for Mayo, and that's Eilish Ronayne, and she got her free as well. Donegal were a long time in the dressing room and were last out for the second half. You would imagine that they got quite a talking to at half time, and certainly every trick in the book used to try and motivate them for the second half. They don't want to go down like this. They're definitely going down, but to go down like this in Letterkenny is a bit humiliating. And McLaughlin has the look of a player now, a captain, a player of the year from last year, who is saying we're not going to go down without a bit of a fight. She's trying to do something, but Sinead Walsh picks her pocket there and gives it to the 24, who I mentioned that has come into the game at half time. That's Delaney, and it's Donegal backtracking now, trying to get back, but it's Cafferty. This Mayo team are really slick. I did say before the game they had the look of a team they could certainly have been higher up the league. They are in a bit of a false position down there, but they're still down there, and they've had to dig it out, and they might dig it out in style right at the start of the second half. Well, she puts it over the bar, but that would have been a smashing goal if she'd got it. And it was Ella Brennan who came on as a sub in the first half, and that's the strength of a good team, isn't it? The sign of a good team when you've had to take off players but put on players like that. Great point at the start of the second half from her. 4-6 to a point. Could have been a goal. McColgan now with the kick out, but it goes straight to Cafferty. She isn't able to collect it, so Katie Dowds takes it instead. Katie forced to go back a little bit. Donegal forced to regroup. Switching the play cleverly out to Rogers to try and find another way past this resolute Mayo rearguard, but it is resolute. Sorry for the pause here, but I'm just actually deleting those nasty scammers on the Ladies Gaelic Football Facebook page as we go. And here is Donegal looking for a score. It's McGarvey. Oh, she looked to get her pass away and was fouled, and the referee has given a free in, so they should get a point out of this, which will double their tally, but they would love to have got a goal there. Denied by this challenge coming in, which has been penalised. So just the 1 point in the game so far for Donegal, and we had some 36-37 minutes of the first half, and now 3 minutes of the second. They doubled their tally. Short kick out, bit tight, but they got it. Number 4 is Saoirse Lally from Westport. McHale, as usual, linking the play and giving it up to Sarah Mulvihill. And this is Garrity on the run. This is a really good transition, and she goes for the kick past crossfield. Doesn't work though. Rogers just is in the right place at the right time and gives it to Nicole McLaughlin. And now it's Donegal's chance through the other Midlothian Neve to try and transition and try and hit them on the counter. Counter the counter, if you like. A little bit of room in this right-hand side as Amy Boyle-Carr goes through in a roll, and it's opened up for ABC, and she shoots. She knew that they had to get something, they had to get a goal, but it just wasn't strong enough. So that's 2 half chances of a goal early in the second half, and neither have been taken. Cafferty. Good pressing from Midlothian. She's definitely taking the fight to Mayo in this second half. The result is not in doubt, but the nature of going down is. But Mayo bossing the game again with the new girl who's come in at half time, Delaney. They now only have 9 of the team actually that started this actual game, and they're getting through here, and Donegal must have committed players forward, because every time Mayo go forward now they seem to have a chance of a goal. There's another substitution, and this time it is for Donegal, and it's Saskia Boyle from Dunlow, daughter of 1992 All-Ireland winner for Donegal, Tony Boyle, the full forward back then. Saw her playing earlier in the league and she was very accomplished indeed. So she has come into the play, and number 13 Suzanne White is coming off, and it's been a disappointing day for her, as it has been for all of the Donegal players. But she had a couple of frees that were kickable, you would have thought, for her, but it just didn't happen today. She certainly played well throughout the league, scoring 120 before today, but it just didn't happen, hasn't happened today for Donegal. Mayo coming again. This was billed as the game of the day and a relegation decider, but the fizz has really gone out of it, I have to say. It's a bit of a training game, as Mayo are so far ahead and running at Donegal, and Donegal just haven't been able to get anything really to spark them into life. Carr forced to play a 1-2 with Keown, and then runs into traffic. The red and green of Mayo winning again, and that's Sarah Mulvihill winning that one. They've just won so many battles all over the field. They've just been a bit smarter, and I guess it's a team a little bit further in their development, shall we say. This is Boyle now, who's just come in, and she is nearly turned over. Serious pressure all over the field from Mayo. They're much, much better than a team in a relegation battle, and I think they'll prove that as the summer goes on. This is Delaney again, coming back out to Flynn. McHale on the run, has to come back and just uses her experience and filters the ball from left to right. And Donegal just been forced to sit in and attack at the minute. Howley back to McHale, transfers it quickly to Delaney. This is O'Connor, and from distance she goes for it, and that could be dangerous. McColgan has to watch this and just gets it at the second attempt, because Cafferty was there. Now she doesn't have height on her side in there, but she was looking to pick up a loose ball, and it nearly was loose. Again, another turnover from Mayo. Well, nearly. They just look a bit demoralised, Donegal, and you can understand why. It's been a difficult day for them. But here's the latest substitute, Boyle. They come back to Tara Haggerty, to Nicole, or Niamh McLaughlin rather, to McGarvey, and she's looked lively. Girl from Termon, and she gets a free as well, and that's the second time she's going to get a chance to put one over the bar from a free. A little bit far out this time, but might just be able to manage it. Similar position in the first half from where White missed a few. Mayo lining up another couple of substitutes. (28) and 22 look to be ready to come on for Mayo. Not sure what the delay is. Now we go ahead, and McGarvey puts it very high, but it looks to be going to the right actually. She got that over? No, it's gone wide. Now we'll have those substitutions for Mayo. 28 and 22. 28 is Maria Cannon, who scored in the first 4 games of the league. And 22 is Lucy Wallace. She's not actually on just yet. She's still on the sideline, so maybe they're making just the one switch now. And it's Shauna Howley coming off for Mayo. And for Donegal, number 22 has gone on. So another change for them, and their 22 is Avian O'Connell from Downings. And the player coming off is Roisin Rogers. Mayo player coming off number 5 is Tamara O'Connor, and Fiona McHale is coming off as well. So it's 2 players coming off, but I only saw one going on. A little bit confused about that, but I'll pick it up as I go on. So Mayo have the luxury of taking off now. Is that their 8th substitution? But certainly they're at the stage where they're taking off players that otherwise would certainly, on other days, would have stayed on right to the end. Key players, shall we say. 18 is on as well now, Hannah Reap, and this is her. She threads a nice ball through, and Mayo are threatening to get through for goals in this second half. They look lively, they look enjoying themselves, and of course there's no pressure on them at all because they are so far ahead. 16 points in it. Well, we thought there might be a question about this game, but it's turned out to be very, very one-sided. This is Eilish Runan directing the traffic and trying to get it through to Sinead Walsh. Doesn't quite get there though. And Niamh McLaughlin will try and get her team going with a good accurate kick pass, but again it just isn't collected there, and it just hasn't happened on so many occasions for Donegal. But they are fighting, and Amy Boyle-Carr is showing that fight. Good work from her, despite being faced up by several players, and now the advantage has been given for further back. 11 minutes into the second half. And it's a painful watch for a proud ladies Gaelic football county. Last year, of course, they were in Croke Park in the league final. Lost narrowly to Meath. This is Heron, who seems to have reverted to the full forward position, and that's a better ball. That's a nice ball to Ciara McGarvey, who's trying to get in behind, but Saoirse Lally there is sticking to her task really well, and the Mayo defence have prevailed yet again, and they do deserve tremendous credit all over the field. They've defended from the front, but at the back, their cornerbacks, their wing backs have been very, very solid, and they've won all of their personal battles. And yet another substitution for Mayo. 29 now is coming in for them, and that is Ciara Durkin. And they're even warming up another one, which is 21, Jenna Mortimer. So they're going to end up with a completely new 15 at this rate. And the player coming off is Sarah Tierney, who went on as a substitute towards the end of the first half. It's not up for me to question the substitutions, but a few of them have puzzled me a little bit. But the managers obviously know what's going on with players more than I do. And the other Mayo player coming off is their number 2, Eilish Runan, who has had a super game. We're underway again, and it's Saoirse Lally, but unable to keep the ball in. Good work by Garrity. Terrific midfielder for college, club and county. Won her own ball there and drove it forward. Gives it to her midfield partner. Cafferty puts it in. Goes looking for it again and might even get it from Hannah Reap. But Hannah's under serious pressure and Donegal have stolen that away through Shelley Tuig. Now, can they do something here on the break? Mayo have plenty of players back, but Niamh McLaughlin, and again you see there just nothing happening for them today. They try and she is trying, but just slips at the vital moment. Gives it into Heron. Now Heron gives it back to McLaughlin, and again she goes to ground, gives it back to Heron. A little bit of support from Boyle on the other side, doesn't see her, gives it to Keown, and there's another inaccurate ball across the field, nearly spilled nicely for Donegal, but instead Mayo have it. It's a good ball as Mayo look to rub salt into the wounds. That's another interesting ball that nearly worked from Delaney and might end up in a score though, and it does. It's adding insult to injury at this point. It's Sinead Cafferty from Kilmavie Shamrocks, and she gets the 5th goal of the game, and it's just turning into a very dismal day for a proud ladies Gaelic football county. They had a drubbing against Cork, 5-11 to 1 point, and they're getting another one today, 5-6 to 2 points. Mayo now changing their goalkeeper. #16 is Lisa Reid May from Davits, and she's coming in for Laura Brennan. So Mayo's management giving just about everyone on their panel a bit of a run today. It's turned into that sort of an easy day for them. Laura gets a round of applause, which is well deserved. A little bit of a stoppage here because there's treatment for, I think it's Tuig for Donegal, and looks like they're going to bring her over to the side actually and get her replaced by number 6. I think that is down below us. That's Abigail Temple Asoko, who made her first start against Cork, and she's named at number 6, but now comes into the play. We were hoping for fireworks here today, a real thriller of a relegation battle right down to the wire, but it's the exact opposite. Again, there's that Donegal tackling from the front, or Mayo tackling Donegal from the front. Forced to go back to the goalkeeper. McColgan threads the ball to, is that 10? I think it is. Niamh Carr, it is. And this is Emer Gallagher. To McLaughlin immediately. Looks and spins to try and get her team moving, but there just aren't that many options up there. Players trying to get forward, but they come back to McLaughlin. They come across this side, or rather to the middle, to Amy Boyle-Carr, and now to Katie Long. But there just aren't any options really inside, and they're forced to go into the corner, which they do well, but can they find a way through? That's a nice ball, and they have got through now. Will there be a goal for Donegal? Well, that's more like it for them, and from them. Really well worked. Finally they find the key to unlock the Mayo defence, and that's a super goal. They just drew them in and got in behind, and a nice finish as well. 5-6 plays, 1-2. 12 minutes to go. Now, have they poked the bear? Are Mayo going to hit them at the other end again? Unlimited substitutions, obviously. Mayo have another 2 ready to come in. This is Delaney to Garrity. Eva Garrity from Westport. 17 is Roisin Flynn. 18 is Hannah Reap. .21 getting it now. That's Jenna Mortimer. And she goes forward inside the 45, but might come back, and she does, to Lucy Wallace, 22. So she tries to find a way through, slips it, but Donegal might turn this over, and they do. Now can they break? McGarvey is up ahead. Katie Heron is up ahead. They've been well marked, but Heron does a nice little give and go. Garvey trying to get space in the middle, but it's not going to get there. It's a free for Katie Dowds, but she just leaves it down. They're unable to take it quickly. That's kind of, is it outside range? Maybe not, actually. Katie Heron fancies this one. Minutes to go. Heron puts it up there and puts it wide. Two more subs coming on for Mayo. 26 and 30. 26 coming on is Erin Murray. 30 is Emily Reap. So I make that about 10, 11 substitutions. Number 4 is coming off. That's Saoirse Lally. And the other player going off is one of the forwards. I think it's Cafferty. And indeed it is. It is Lisa Cafferty coming off. Donegal sending on 2 subs as well. Changing their goalkeeper, so Aoife McColgan is going off, replaced by Claire Friel from Fanagales. And the other change is 26 going in, and that's Catherine Boyle. Her club is down at St Alva's in Limerick. 10 is coming off. That's Niamh Carr. So both goalkeepers have been changed, and a lot of outfield players as well. Been that kind of a day. We're into the last 10 minutes. And Mayo looking to finish with a bit of a flourish, but good work there by Abigail Temple Asoko, who's just come in the last couple of minutes. Made her start against Cork and did well there to intercept. McLaughlin, good ball into McGarvey, closely marked, but tries to fend off her marker. That's Ciara Durkin, and eventually gets past her, but can she get a ball through? She's unable to just get it through, and there's another foul there, and it's going to be another free, and they've all been from a similar range. McLaughlin looking to get the ball as quickly as possible. 19 coming on now for Donegal. And 19 is Shauna Higgins from St Ewan, so she'll be playing on her home pitch here for her county. No sign of Karen Guthrie coming on, so I'm kind of presuming that maybe her message to the management was, yes, I'll come back for it today if you need me, if it's close, but probably not much point coming on when the game is in this situation and she's not totally up to speed, match fit. The player getting treatment is Nicole McLaughlin from Termon, being helped to her feet in the middle of the field off camera, but she does not look like she'll be able to continue. Yeah, she's coming off very gingerly indeed. It's another sad sight today for Donegal. And Mayo down below us lining up there, number 15, that's Roisin Durkin. Was named as Tara Needham during the week and in the programme, but she was unable to make it today through injury, and so Roisin Durkin took 15, didn't start obviously, but is now coming into the play for Mayo. And she's coming in for the other Cafferty, Sinead. I'm watching another Mayo player. They really are emptying the bench. Although it's actually 25 who's already been on. Is she going to come back on? Yeah, it looks like 25 Maria Riley, who started the game wearing 25, was taken off early in the first half, or early-ish, and looks like she's now been warmed up to come on again. Donegal go for goal. No point going for points at this stage, is there really? And it's a free out though for Mayo. If you missed me saying at the very start, before the start of the game, I remember Mayo getting promoted to Division 1 way back in 2012 when the captain was Claire Egan. They won in Parnell Park to go up, and they're still up, and they're going to maintain that proud record in Division 1 ever since then. They've been to 2 finals in that time, lost in 2016 and 2018, and they're much better than second off the bottom of the league. They've won one game in this current league, and that was against Meath. Came very close in quite a few of the other games. I thought they had the game against Dublin 1. And Dublin hit them right at the end, and they could have beaten Galway last week, and I think there was one other they were really close to. 27 and 28 now in for Donegal. Another 2 changes. 27 is Leisha Ryan from the home club here, St Eunan's, and Caught Gillespie from Aerua Ballyshannon. 28 is coming in. 11 is off for Donegal, that's Katie Long. And I see another 3 Donegal jerseys coming along to come into the game. 12 is coming off as well, that's Katie Dowds. And Donegal lining up 3 more as well to give them 5 minutes of National League action. I seem to have commentated on more substitutions than scores in the second half. Another injury to a Donegal player way over on that far side. I can't see who it is. 23 on for Donegal. Katie O'Donnell is coming in. 24 coming on for Donegal is Cody Walsh from St Mary's and Convoy, and during the stoppage I think they're going to get another player on as well. Don't think I've ever seen so many substitutions in a single game before. And now 25 is back on for Mayo, and that is Maria Riley. What is it they say? The more things change, the more they stay the same. The more changes today, the more the result stays the same. 25 is now on for Donegal, and that's Sophie McFeely, another one from the home host club here, St Eunan's. Player coming off for Mayo, one of them at least, Sinead Walsh, number 10. Katie Heron is off the field, and so is Kiva Keown, number 2 for Donegal. And this is a lengthy stoppage, unfortunately, for an injury, and they're now bringing the stretcher over, which is never good. 3 minutes to go, but we will have a lot of added time. And there's Maxie Curran cutting a dejected figure on the sideline. It's been a dismal campaign for his team. They've had a few heavy beatings, no wins, no draws, and with 3 minutes to go they are staring relegation in the face to Division 2, and it will be Donegal going down, back down to Division 2, where they were promoted from back in 2016. So 7 years ago they come up to Division 1. In the first year, Micheál Naughton, now the LGFA president, took them to the league final, where they only lost to Cork by 1 point. Came so close that day. And last year, of course, they lost the final again to Meath. for Mayo, though, promoted back in 2012, and they are going to continue life in Division 1. So a long stoppage continues, unfortunately. This round 7 of the league, the last round. No semi-finals this year. It's all going straight to finals, which will be in the middle of April after the TG Cahir All-Stars tour to Austin, Texas. Well, there are games during this week in the Lidl Post-Primary Schools All-Ireland Finals. There were 3 games yesterday in the junior level and 3 to come this week at senior level. As we look at the Mayo management, Michael Moyles, the manager, of course, of Mayo, will be very satisfied with this performance today. Objective achieved, but it was the way they achieved it. Really, really impressive from them today, and underlined the point that they should not have been down there, really. It was a false position. So the schools finals this week on Tuesday, Thursday, on Saturday. And we will be live streaming all 3 of those games, I'm delighted to say. So those games will be available to watch. So that's your week sorted. Tuesday is Pearse Park in Longford. Thursday is Nina in Tipperary. And Saturday, I believe, is at a Dublin venue. This really is a sad sight. Donegal's day just gets worse. Sun comes out in Letterkenny, and elsewhere I'm finding Armagh have beaten Tipperary by 11 points, which means that Tipperary have to wait to see if they go through to the final, because Laois are looking to sneak in there and get ahead of them. Antrim have beaten Limerick in another of the games, and Clare have beaten Longford. Fermanagh and Leitrim have gone to extra time. Leitrim equalised right at the end. But here we resume. Sun very bright now. It's come out, and it's in these Donegal players' faces as they try to go forward and try to salvage something from this game. But it's Mayo again prevailing, and it's well stolen there by number 26 Erin Murray, and she gives it to 28 Maria Cannon. She scored in the first 4 games of the league, and she scores in this one too. And yet again another Mayo turnover and another Mayo score. We see it again, and Donegal just cannot do anything right today. It's 5-7 to 1-2. We're in the 63rd minute, and I fancy we'll have at least another 5. Mayo have just been different class today to Donegal. And there's a wayward ball into the forwards, so that's easy for the Mayo defence. I think it was 29 Ciara Durkin who got that one, and now they've got it up to 27 Sarah Mulvihill. Donegal players filtering back, but it's a tough job for them going back. This is Maria Riley on her second spell in the game. Referee giving her advantage, and now awards the free. It's been a pretty bizarre, surreal day. The amount of substitutions and the way the game has panned out, not what we expected. 30 is Emily Reap for Mayo into Delaney. Riley gives it to Garrity. She's still on the field, one of the few who started for Mayo that are still out there. This is 26, this is Marie, and that's going to go wide. Well, we expected Donegal maybe to go out with a bang, but instead they are going out with a whimper. Largely down to the press from Mayo, and there it is yet again. They move the ball nicely and quickly to the far side to Abigail Temple-Isoko. Forward to Boyle. Inside to Haggerty. She gets support there from one of the substitutes, that is Katie O'Donnell. But the move breaks down. Ciara Durkin, 29, gives it to 28. Maria Cannon. And every time they go forward, you think Mayo are going to score, even though they might be outnumbered. That's good work, actually, by Erin Murray again, and it spills kindly for Lucy Wallace. 22 up against 22. Comes back out to Flynn. One or two runs in the middle, but 24 Delaney is going through on her own and is fouled. 66th minute of the game now. You always know it's quiet when you hear the ping of text messages going throughout the game. Crowd are actually that quiet here in Letterkenny. They have had very little to shout about. 28, Maria Cannon nails it. That's her second point of the game, and she's only come in as a sub. But then again, more than half of the players out there have come in as subs today. Referee Shane Curley gets the play underway, although he's actually watching stuff off the ball, whatever that's about. That's a good ball to Amy Boyle-Carr, and she's got support over here from number 29, Ciara Durkin. As Donegal look to finish with something. Niamh McLaughlin snatches that ball and does well and goes forward with intent, but loses her footing, not for the first time. Still going, but the ball's going to come back because of the injury. Mayo player is down, and it's number 19, that's Ella Brennan, and I think it was from the challenge with McLaughlin. It's such a stop-start game today, hasn't it? First half was about 36, 37 minutes, and now this half is 37 minutes long. And this doesn't look great either, I have to say, as the doctor now goes out for Mayo, and the doctor has been overworked today and the physios have been overworked. I think she was in giving treatment to somebody and has been called to go out because there's another player injured. They are certainly busy, unfortunately, this afternoon. The agony continues for Donegal, and although Mayo are going to stay in Division 1, they have had their injury problems today as well. Of course, Rachel Cairns went off after scoring a goal in the opening minutes, and this is another injury. And they've, I think, used every substitute, Mayo, or near enough, so they might be asking somebody to come back on. I see Danielle Caldwell being told to come out, so she's going to have to come on for the last few minutes. And I'm just reading through the subs, and yeah, I think every single Mayo substitute has been used, from 17, 16 right through to 30, and 2 are now going to be used twice. Maria Riley came back on, and now Caldwell is going to come back on. This really has been one of the most bizarre afternoons that I've spent at a ladies Gaelic football game. And strangely enough, the amount of players that we've seen hobbling off like this with what looked like ankle injuries. Right from the start with Rachel Cairns, and a lot of the balls as well have bobbled a lot. I wonder, is it just to pitch at this time of the year or something, but it's been remarkable. And yet another round of applause for an injured player. How many of them have we had today? Sadly. We're now going into the 70th minute of the game, and she tries for goal, nearly gets it as well, McGarvey. Not quite though. At least she gave it a rattle and rattled the crossbar. They go back to their substitute goalkeeper, Mayo. They're all substitutes out there now, I think. I don't think there's a single player. Maybe Garrity's still out there, is she? She's maybe the only player, but most of the team has been replaced. So everyone has got a game. Long trip up from Mayo, but it's been worth it. Oh, and here's a chance now for Donegal to finish at least with something at the end. McGarvey feeds it in to McLaughlin, and she finishes it to the net. Player of the year last year, but this year is a very, very different year for Donegal. So far, they are going to be relegated. Even with that little glimmer of light at the end, they are going down sadly. 5-8 plays 2-2. Doesn't look so bad after that goal on the scoreline, but they have been thoroughly outplayed today, and we've basically two different teams on the pitch now. 71st minute. Again, that's something I haven't seen in a long, long time in ladies Gaelic football. So if you add the first half, we've actually probably played 75, 76 minutes. It's a 60-minute game. Caldwell called back into the play. This is Lucy Wallace popping up on the right-hand side now. As well, the whole possession gives it into Riley. And Mayo just running out this game, running down the clock. And that is Garrity, number 8, who is still out there. She might be the only player, you know, out there who's actually played the full game. Trying to look around to see who else is out there that may have done, but it may just be her. Strangest of days. Donegal get it back, and we still play in the 72nd minute of the game. Mayo turn it over. Not for the first time today. Jenna Mortimer with it. Caldwell to Riley. She slips a nice ball through to Murray. Well intercepted though. And Donegal turn it over. Now can they get another little score at the end? But Laughlin says, give it to me. I got a goal a minute ago. Nice little solo from her, and she goes forward with intent as usual. She's done her best in this second half and gives it to McGarvey. And she is surely being held, trying to get through. And that will be a free, and she looks disappointedly into the air as if to say, that was rather cynical. And she just held on to me and wouldn't let me go. And a free's not much use to me now. But then again, nothing really is. Could be a yellow card right at the end, and indeed it is. Well, we've had everything else today. We may as well have a card. She went for goal from the last free from about here, or was it a little bit closer? Maybe it was on the 14, but I fancy she'll have a go anyway. She might even head it off the ground. She is. McGarvey drives it low, why not? Deflects, might end up in the goal, and it does. A third goal for Donegal right at the end. And the scoreline doesn't look so bad now, but too little, too late. And it was the number 24 who got that score, and that was Cody Walsh for St Mary's in Convoy. 74th minute of the game, and we still play on. It's basically another full quarter of a game in the second half. Oh, an obvious pull in the jersey, but she goes on, gets her kick, and drops it beautifully over the bar. And Mayo get the last word. 5-9 now to 3-2. Donegal have scored more goals than points. Just another little strange footnote on a strange day. the pain, the suffering just continues for Donegal. 14 minutes into the added time at the end of the second half. The strangest of days and the most disappointing of days for Donegal. They are relegated. It is Mayo who will stay up. Their management will be delighted with that. But it's Donegal who go down for the first time since I think 2016 when they were promoted. So they haven't played Division 2 since 2016. They will play it in 2024. It's 5-9 to 3-2. A really bizarre, surreal day, which really was decided early on when Mayo got a couple of goals. And unfortunately, there were several nasty looking injuries to players as well, right throughout the game, which explains the amount of added time. But the important thing for both teams is that Mayo have won this relegation shootout. It is Mayo who will stay up and Donegal have gone down. Rule on the championship, that's next, apart from of course the league finals. But these two teams are done and dusted with the Lidl National League for now, and we are done and dusted here in St Eunan's in Letterkenny. It's Mayo's day. From all of us, it's goodbye.